Welcome, my fellow Geminis, to your tarot reading. So, Gemini, let me tell you something before we begin. When I sat down to tap into your energy, Spirit immediately brought forward a message about some type of communication, um, something that may need to be said, or something that's been held back. And I get the sense of someone who may finally be ready to speak, whatever that may mean. Um, it literally feels like I know something you don't know yet type of energy. So interesting. So let's see what Spirit wants Gemini to know. And this is going to be, by the way, for Gemini, Sun, Moon, or Rising. I have a Gemini Moon. For those intuitively guided, for sure. This is the way I look at it. Whatever made you click on the video, that to me is your sign that there's messages in here for you. So let's go ahead and begin, Gemini. You've been waiting long enough. So Mother Mary will open up the reading. Crystal Vision will take us deeper. We're going to use the major arcanas. And for your main spread, we're going to use the Tarot of Dreams. So, start with Mother Mary. And everything is always pre-shuffled before you come to the table. This is really when I'm shuffling is when I'm really connecting with our guides. It's like my quiet time. All right. But I do like to give it a shuffle with you here also. So, Gemini, Mother Mary, message for Gemini, those intuitively guided. Okay, got you. So, first of all, trust turned itself around in the deck, so we're going to start with trust. I know that God, in his infinite wisdom and love, is answering my prayers right now. Trust. Patience. This reminds me of Temperance. I trust in divine timing. Trust in what? Divine timing. That means something is about to open up in divine timing. I don't feel like I'm reading months out. I feel like I'm reading for right now. So this patience, I feel like you've had patience. And now I feel like something is opening up. Interesting. So trust and then patience, but I trust in divine timing. All right, let's bring in the major arcanas. I don't know why, but that made me even more excited to get into your reading. Like, I'm really feeling something is about to happen. Ooh, but it feels good. Feels really good. Justice. Card of Libra. Justice is about balance. Sometimes it's about using that sword. It got ties to whatever is potentially keeping you unbalanced. It can certainly speak of karma. We have the Hierophant, your neighbor, card of Taurus. But it is a 5, and it does speak about change. It does, I often feel like this Hierophant is about to give a blessing over you. And this Hierophant really asks you to question certain things within your life. Like, are you living a life according to your morals? And I'm saying that because that sword of justice, it's up. So it makes me feel like I need to cut some ties. But when I do, I feel like immediately I'm balanced. And then I feel like, and then there's this blessing, like a blessing that's waiting. I have a feeling there's something karmic that has to do with justice. But we'll see. We'll keep going. We have the devil, card of Capricorn. And it's interesting because I was going to do Capricorn to reading, but then I kept hearing Gemini, Gemini. And then the star. Your hopes, your dreams, your wishes. I want to say, what's keeping you from them? Is there something, someone that has come between you and the potential of manifesting some of these dreams? Because I totally feel like it is realistic and can happen. And let's just say, if justice is talking about, probably a karmic lesson, which this really is the time, those karmic lessons coming to the surface, but it's so you can clear them. And the great thing about a karmic lesson, they're not easy, but when you do clear them, you clear them for eternity. So you never want to look at it, be like, this is an opportunity. I have a feeling your soul, this is one of the reasons why your soul came into this lifetime. I want to pay this karma off for good. Some of you could have felt like you've been under, and I feel like this for a lot of the signs, like we've been under this shadow. And it's interesting because we're in the year of the magician, right? The alchemist. Powerful. But a lot of people expected it to begin right away, like in January. But actually, March, April is when this energy is truly activated. So I feel like this is just saying, is there something or someone that's coming between you and your dreams? Because your dreams, you can manifest. I feel that with no doubt. But I do feel like there is just something that may be coming between that. Could be trust in yourself. For some, I definitely feel like you're overcoming either someone or people, different people, like their limited views on you. Like I have this dream, and then someone says, but you can't do that. You'll never do that. Well, then they don't know you. They don't know you. But I definitely feel like this is about finding that confidence within yourself. And the heck with anyone else who, is trying to limit you. You're not meant to be limited this month. I feel like this is a turning point for you, but a very good one. Interesting. All right, let's slide these up. Let's continue with the Universal Tarot. And by the way I look at a reading is every deck is a layer. So, like Mother Mary is the first layer, Major Arcana is the second layer, the main spread, the Universal Tarot, the third layer, Crystal Vision, the fourth. And when I say layers, I mean we're going deeper each time. Okay. And I do have the Romance Angels ready in case love comes into the picture. All right. Five of Pentacles with the Queen of Pentacles. Interesting. There's another five. Five of Pentacles can feel like a tower. You know, sometimes it's something that happens outside of our control. Could be like a job change. Maybe I didn't ask for it. But then I'm looking at the Queen of Pentacles, who's holding this big pentacle in her lap. And I feel like I can manifest this. I can manifest this pentacle. And it's bigger than all the pentacles before. How does she do that? Well, I call this person my psychic detective. She's trusting her intuition. She's trusting herself. You know, the one thing about the Queen of Pentacles is she can overthink. And you being ruled by Mercury, we can definitely overthink. You know, and I'm a Virgo sun, so I'm doubly ruled by Mercury. But that's not what I'm feeling here, to be honest. I feel like the Five of Pentacles, something happening outside of your control that could very much be the case. But I also feel for some of you, this is you saying no more to a situation. Like you're using that sword of justice. And I get this feeling if like if your money has been stretched thin, and it could be due to other people, like, can I borrow? Can I have money? Can I have money? But then I get this sense of like nobody pays you back. Because I feel like this queen is like, well, this is my pentacle. All right, let's keep going. As far as Earth goes, we do have Taurus and Capricorn. I should have given all the signs: Justice, Libra, the Star, Aquarius. So you got a mixture of Earth and air. Earth and air. I don't know why I said it that way. Earth and air. The Three of Cups. Rejoice in celebration. Energy of joy. And then the Six of Swords. Goodbye toxicity. There you are using that sword. And what does that do? It frees you. Frees your mind. It frees you from any limited thoughts of your own, but also of other people's. You know, I'm not necessarily saying whoever you're leaving in this energy that they are toxic, but let's just say that your energy and their energy don't mesh anymore, if ever. Six of Swords is really moving on. And you need to know what you're moving on from. So you got to go back one card to the Five of Swords. And that truly is where the toxicity lies. That's where communication is difficult, if not impossible. You know what I mean? Like it's the type of communication where nobody wants to listen and everybody wants to talk. But I feel like Gemini is saying enough is enough of that. And, you know, it's interesting because in the Three of Cups, I have a feeling like whether this be like a job offer, I feel like it's good news. Let's put it that way. I feel like it's good news that then puts you in movement. It's like the Hierophant. Believe in your dreams. It's like Mother Mary. Trust in your dreams. And even trusting in divine timing. But I want to remind you, many times divine is waiting on us, is waiting for us to make that movement. This is free will. But here you are doing it, and I feel like it's the best thing you could do. So, I do feel like good news comes first. Interesting. What kind of good news? Well, it is cups. So, and it does bring you joy. Well, the King of Pentacles, why not? We have the Queen of Pentacles right there. Interesting how he's looking into the reading. This Queen, it's like she's looking forward, but not too far forward. The King is definitely looking back at this Queen. And in the Six of Swords, where you're making this movement, I wonder if some of you are heading towards this King. Now, this King could be, again, he's also holding that pentacle. It's interesting because all of a sudden I felt like these two pentacles equal soulmates. Okay, well, let's keep going. We have the Eight of Cups. Goodbye, Yellow Brick Road. Hello, Will. Hello, Destiny. There's that Five of Swords. One of the things I feel like you're celebrating is the leaving of the Five of Swords, is the no more, is the reclaiming of your life, joy. I feel like some of you are saying, like, I know that this is not, there was probably again a karmic lesson. So don't regret it. Because honestly, like when our soul comes down here to complete a karmic lesson, it is that important. Because the soul knows once I learned that lesson, I've learned it for eternity. I don't have to worry about it again. And the Five of Swords looking right at that wheel definitely feels like it was a lesson. Okay. Well, hello, Six of Cups. Interesting. Under the Six of Swords, where you're in movement. And the Six of Cups is nostalgia. Happy memories, treasured memories. Can be someone of your past. Maybe this king. Just the way he's looking in on the reading. And like, in a way, I feel like the queen, like she's kind of looking at the king. But it's almost like she doesn't want the king to know. Eight of Swords, that may be why. And then we have the Eight of Pentacles. Interesting. So 888, 888, new beginnings. New beginnings. However, in the Eight of Swords, maybe not so much. This is a self-created prison. But you know what? It is mirroring the Eight of Cups. And you can't have both, right? I'm either in this one or this one. This is emotional reflection, right? I'm understanding these cups. Look, I mean, this person even put them in order. Like what was once all these cups knocked over, it's like they stacked them in order. I don't know why. But anyway, well, I do know why. It's because they found emotional clarity. This is someone who, first of all, is willing to look within their emotional house to understand it. This person is leaving what was and heading towards the Nine of Cups, which is inner fulfillment, but it's also fulfillment of wishes. And you already have the wish card, but it's up against the Eight of Swords, self-created prison. This is where I'm putting walls up. So I feel like I'm either going to do one or the other. This could be where you are, and this is where you're going. You know, the person in the Six of Swords in that boat, I don't know that they know. Well, how do I want to say this? I don't know. I don't know if they know that the king is there. Oh, look how I switched these around. Interesting. I'm just going to leave them like that. Eight of Pentacles here also. There's a lot of Pentacles in your reading, Gemini. Eight of Pentacles, you know, this could be a new job offer. For some of you, this is you creating your business. It's funny, I just did what I'm calling the Cosmic Forecast. It's a new series I'm starting, and I just released March. But then I also did April. And boy, your reading is reminding me of it in a very good way. So, again, I feel like, you know, money seems to be the culprit to change. Maybe there was a lack of. Some could have literally lost a job. You know, the Eight of Pentacles reminds you or ask you to be willing to go into something new as the apprentice, but knowing that if you focus on it, you will be the master. And with all these pentacles here, and I feel like because the Eight of Cups is up against the Eight of Swords, you must have freed yourself, and that, again, is why you're in this boat. Symbolically, but for some of you, could be literally. Like, I'm heading back home. I don't know why the Six of Cups always reminds me of, like, home. And that can be different for different people. It doesn't have to mean where I grew up. A place where I felt at home. So something could have happened that kind of forced your hand. But here's the thing. The reality is, by forcing your hand, it is opening up all kinds of energy for you. Like the wheel. Your destiny. The king looking in on the queen, and the queen, like, sees the king, but it's like she's trying, like, I don't want him to know that I see him yet. Is he a job offer? Or is he something more? Or maybe both. Let's see who's on the bottom of the deck. Seven of Swords. Standing your ground. But this is the bottom of the deck. So usually the bottom of the deck is the energy that is ready to leave. And I get that because I feel like sometimes we gotta ask ourselves, what am I standing my ground against? And is it even worth it? You know, if I'm trying to stand my ground against a narcissist, what's the point? They'll never understand it. Even if they do, they wouldn't admit it. I feel like you don't need to. Because I feel like, again, whoever you're standing your ground against, and this is a sense of protecting oneself, I just feel like you don't want that anymore. Look at that, the Two of Cups under that. Soulmate. The Emperor underneath that. Interesting. Some of you may be saying, thought you were my soulmate, but you're nothing like the man I thought you were, or the woman. But I did think you were my soulmate. And listen, they might have been a karmic soulmate. But I feel like subconsciously, you're wishing for, let's just say, a better love, male or female. So, sometimes we've got to know what we're fighting for. Because I don't feel like this soulmate, well, again, for some of you, it's karmic. And karmic soulmates are not meant to stay. They're meant to teach or learn and then move on. But it's a major lesson and one you should congratulate yourself on. So I get the Seven of Swords on the bottom, like it's saying, you don't need that energy. All right, let's bring in the crystal vision and let's go deeper. So we know there's a few changes on the horizon for you. Though with the star here, it really is like the power is put in your hands. Oh, excuse me. My foot fell asleep. Um, I mean, think about this. The Eight of Cups, you find that emotional clarity. Maybe what you're doing also is you're looking back and you're saying, not all love is meant to last forever. And I just got to accept that. Some love is to teach, some love is free will, and some love are stepping stones to our ultimate love. Okay. Did I cut these? I don't know. So let's go ahead and do it. All right. We have the devil again over the Five of Pentacles. Could be Capricorn. But if it's not Capricorn, the devil speaks about temptations. Things that tempt us in the night. If you just look at it as like Adam and Eve, she's holding that apple in her hand. I get this sense of if I knew then what I know now, then this would have never happened. But, and I do feel like that. Like, if I knew then what I know now, then that would have never taken place. But I am going to ask you to consider a different perspective. If this person was a karmic soulmate, and I was able to understand that, see that, accept the lesson, and then end it, which is exactly what you're meant to do, there's always a blessing that waits. I'm telling you. All right, let's keep going. But double Capricorn on the board. Hello, Nine of Pentacles. Successful self-employment. If someone lost a job, look at this. Look at this. If this is part of your wishes, you have your own business. I mean, we did see the Emperor, who I often feel is a business owner. But I often feel that about the Queen and King of Pentacles. This is independence. And I have to tell you, if I had to, what's the word I want to use? If I had to rely on someone else as it relates to money, well, I've had enough of that. I've had enough of that. Because I feel for some, you may have stayed in a situation longer than normal because of finances. But this is telling you, like, you can take that curious mind of yours and you can create. And this can be anything. And I do feel like someone had come between, well, success, independence. I don't feel like you were feeling that. But now the changes, that's exactly what it's bringing. If we only know that when we're going through the changes, that's the temporarily difficult time. And really, it's for those who aren't comfortable with change. But, hello, Destiny with the Nine of Pentacles. Some of you, there could be something like you may went to school for law, or, something where you're helping others. And I feel like it makes you feel good. We have the Ten of Wands over the Three of Cups. So we're not celebrating the Ten of Wands. I feel like what we're celebrating is that it's over. Ten of Wands literally means that, like, all the responsibility has been on your shoulders, on your back, the weight of the world, the weight of another. But I feel like you're releasing that. I forget what deck it is, but sometimes you'll see in the Ten of Wands, like this woman leaving this mountaintop, and you can see this path was forged, and she knows that there was nothing left on that mountaintop. So she took what she could carry, and she's heading towards a new mountaintop. She doesn't know where yet, but she knows it exists. Look at what just flipped itself around. Beautiful. The Eight of Swords. Somebody had their hooks in you. Somebody had you not believing in yourself. But boy, are they wrong. Boy, are they wrong. The Queen of Pentacles, right over the King. Well, hello, King. Like, literally, they are connected now with the star right above them. And how beautiful the Eight of Swords in reverse over the Six of Swords. When the Eight of Swords is in reverse, you just broke yourself free. You can now claim freedom. And even if temporarily, again, going through the change is a little difficult, hang on to your hat for what's about to meet you. I feel like first, you are believing in yourself again. Okay, let's keep going. I find it interesting that the Queen is now connected directly to the King of the same suit. There's that Seven of Wands. Now the Seven of Wands is now over. I don't know where. This should really be over here. So it was the last card. So Seven of Wands over that Eight of Swords. I can just fight. I can stay and fight the good fight. I can try to win. Or I can say it doesn't really matter. The things that I'm fighting for may not be ultimately what my soul is desiring. There's no way your soul would want to stay in this self-created prison. There's no way. Doesn't mean I don't want to visit it, because that is part of your growth. It's like you're saying, no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more. What you say? Okay. I have to say that if the devil's Capricorn, doesn't have great outlook here. The Nine of Wands. Beautiful. Interesting, it's coming under another nine, the Nine of Pentacles. This nine it's definitely a reflection over the past, but it's really about how much you have grown, how your life has expanded, your ideas, even what you want to do in the world. Like there may be new things and new epiphanies that come to you. But you do have to know where you've been to understand where you're going. I get a lot of comments where people say, someone treated you like shit and that's it. You're not going to love again, which I get it. I've said those words myself. Um, but then, I said that right before Sam called me. Like, I'm just going to focus on my career and this and that and being independent, being free. And then Sam called me. You never know, you never know, you never know. And I don't know what brought all that up, but like this is energy you want to be proud of. This is, and it's on your wheel, it's your destiny. So I have a feeling it's like your soul is looking at these wands, the things that have happened, the adventures that you've had, the things that have gone wrong, but then you got back up again. This is about who you have become, who you are today because of these experiences. And, I just feel like this Nine of Pentacles, successful self-employment, and it doesn't have to be self-employment. Because part of me is wondering, is this king like an offer or a lover or both? Look who just woke up. The Hangman. That's beautiful. Gemini. This is the first time the Hangman is in the awakened state all year. I can't think of one reading where it came in the awakened state. And it's coming over the Five of Swords for you. So it's clear to you what's toxic, what's working against you, who's working against you, who doesn't know how to control their communication, all of that. This is your truth, your wisdom, and everything you've gained along the way. This means you're having a spiritual awakening. And it is a process. Truth is the first thing that we must realize. Or, let me put it a different way. If we're truly having a spiritual awakening, truth is a must. Our own truth. I feel like some of you, it's like you have this true realization now that, I'm not just this human body. I'm a spiritual being. I don't have to take other people's bullshit. That's not what I came here for. Though, in a way, did this karmic soulmate bring about this awakening? Well, as I say that, I feel like what really brought about the awakening is the movement, the choices that, those hard decisions, but then you make them. Then you make them. Another reason why it makes sense the Eight of Swords is in reverse. Well, hello, Knight of Pentacles. Wow, I just got goosebumps. Wow. Guardian angel energy. So this knight asks for a couple things. First is patience. What's the patience for? I want to make sure everything's in place. This knight says, I come at the right time. So when I come in, it's the right time. Interesting, it's coming over the Six of Cups. Making me feel more and more and more like this Queen and King. Though I do feel like, boy, collaborate? Yeah. Support each other? Absolutely. Maybe even work together. But I have a feeling love together also. So yeah, this knight says I come at the right time. And it makes sense that it comes over the Six of Cups, because for some of you, I feel like, again, the moving back home. This knight brings in a blessing, brings in a pentacle. The Queen and King are already holding that pentacle. How interesting. But the pentacle that this knight brings in, it's meant to truly enhance your life. It can start as a seed, and you do have to nurture that seed. But if you do, it only grows and blossoms. And we already see the Nine of Pentacles. We have you in the awakened state, and that feels like, there couldn't be a more perfect time. Okay, that's way too many. Still a lot. I am going to take them though. Look at this. Look at them facing each other. The two knights. How interesting, because the king is facing inward, just as the Knight of Cups, where the queen is facing outward, just like the Knight of Pentacles. What is this Knight of Pentacles bringing? Unexpected couple fulfillment. It is unexpected, but it is true fulfillment. And how beautiful it's coming directly from your guardian angel. Wow. So I guess that answers the question of the king and king, or the king. That could be true. The queen and king. There is an emotional tie here. Okay. This is a lot, but I'm going to take them because I feel like they keep coming out in a bunch. All right, the Five of Wands. This whole line, like, wants to go. Five of Wands. It's a lot of fighting. It's a lot of ego. Seven of Wands right above it, standing one's ground. But to what point? Queen of Wands. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. My Queen of Action now. The Two of Pentacles. That doesn't feel like it fits. But let's keep going. The Five of Pentacles. The Tower. Okay, I get it. The Strength card. The beautiful Empress. And the Ten of Swords. Okay. So I feel like what's happening down here with all this difficult energy, right? The Two of Swords, the Five of Pentacles, the Tower, the Ten of Swords. It definitely feels like a repeat pattern. It definitely feels like, it could be something you've given someone multiple opportunities, but they always produce the same energy. And, it's funny because here, where we see the Two of Cups, oh, wow, I didn't even see that. Look at that. The Emperor and the Empress with the Two of Cups. Here's the Empress. Wow. I feel like this is this. We just didn't know about it yet. Sometimes I'm fighting for something that holds no value in my life. Even the Page of Pentacles below that. It's like the younger version of the Queen and the King. And, I'm saying Pentacles, but it can be any sign. It's a man and a woman. Unexpectedly, I feel like falling in love. And I feel like, what did this karmic lesson, what did it do for you? Turned you into the Empress. And that Nine of Wands, that reflection back, that's exactly what the Empress does. What do I need to learn from this situation? What is it trying to teach me? You can see there's an apple about to hit her in the head, and that's an epiphany. It's an idea. It's guidance. And then the Strength card right before that, the ability to overcome all of this. Gemini, it doesn't feel like life has been that easy lately, or lately. But it does feel like everything wants to change, but it has to start with you. And I wish I could say different, but it does feel like, let's just say it this way. Believe in your dreams. Believe that you can manifest them, but be willing to put the action behind it, even if it's baby steps. Let go of what needs to be let go of. This truly is what gives you this awareness. And with the Hangman in the awakened state and the Empress, there's nothing that can fool you moving forward. A lot of people say that in comments too, like, I dealt with a narcissist and I'll be damned if I ever want to deal with that. Well, once you deal with a narcissist, if you've broken it down and you understand they're a narcissist, well, chances are, if you run across that type of energy again, you're going to know it. And that's why you want to be aware. That's why you want to be real with yourself. Like, I recognize your energy. No way. But over here, look at the love just kind of flowing in. flowing out, flowing in. Anger, bad communication, fighting, ugh, self-created prison. Over here, unexpected cup of fulfillment, our guardian angel bringing us a blessing. Even the Hierophant I knew was about to bless you. Look at the hangman mirroring, the awakened hangman mirroring the Hierophant, your morals, your beliefs, and you living by that. You're living by your sword. Okay, so I do feel like this king and queen are potential love. So I am going to bring the romance angels in. Um, but I don't want you to forget, like, sometimes I feel like when we go to love, we forget everything else was on here. I want you to see the abundance that you have the ability to create for yourself. This is independence. And it doesn't mean like, and even look at this, the Eight of Pentacles, right? The beginning, the epiphany, that thought, and then creating from it. Some of you are using your psychic abilities because this is my psychic queen. But anyway, I just don't want to take away that beautiful energy from you and only focus on love. But now, I want to look at love. Give your relationship a chance. Work on your partnership. Interesting, because I don't feel like there's anything to work on here. Chemistry. There's a strong magnetic attraction here. I have to say, give your relationship a chance. Certainly, if you want to. Part of me is feeling this is more for those who have moved on. Because I don't know what's savable. Love yourself first. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. Love yourself first. Healing family issues. Your love life benefits as you forgive your parents. Wow. And that is so true. The forgiving of everyone. And it's not you picking up the phone and saying, hey, I forgive you. You are no longer willing to carry that energy. And when you forgive, it's within. What that does is gives you peace of mind. And then, yes, this is your soulmate. That was a strange noise I just heard. Hmm. Who knows? I mean, this fighting could have been your family for some of you. Like, it may be your family you were fighting with. But I just don't see. Actually, I'm seeing more movement than anything here. And every bit of this movement feels like it's working in your favor. I feel like this king that was attached to the Knight of Cups, he's your soulmate. Or if you're a man, the queen. Or if you're in same sex, then the king and the king or the queen and the queen. But this is your soulmate. And I feel like part of the lesson was really learning how to love yourself first. You remember when in the beginning I felt like you were like handing out money and no one was paying you back? Well, it could also be energy. Like you've been around a bunch of energy vampires and you never get that back. So, okay, I don't want to overthink this. I don't want to be like the Queen of Pentacles, even though I am her. Um, I did feel it with the king and the queen. And I just loved how the queen jumped from where she's kind of looking at the king to right over the king and the star right there. Okay, I'm going to let that be. I'm going to let that be. There are some new beginnings in here for you, Gemini. Um, it definitely doesn't feel like you've had it easy lately. But, part of this reading, part of your message may be that what you've been dealing with was karmic. And even though that is difficult, truly, if you feel that, like definitely leave a comment if you felt that. But it's like celebrate the fact that not only did you learn the lesson, you left the energy. And that is just the beginning of your everything. Yes, this is your soulmate. But listen, this feels like the highest form of love, but also like your most creative time. It's like money pouring in and love all over you. What could be wrong with that? I love you guys. I thank you. My prayer is that this abundance and this love find you and you accept it with open arms. I'll see you next time at our table. Bye bye.